Good morning. It's good afternoon. Good Saturday afternoon. Sisters in Power is back. She back, y'all. I'm done with all the other stuff. I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll. We got a good show coming up here for you all on today. I'm so excited. I've been sending them videos and pictures and all this stuff, and we've been getting prepared to bring you all this show on today. So I am excited to have all of this ready for y'all. So get your girlfriend, get your cousin, get somebody, tell them Sisters in Power is on. Like, tag, and share. Did I say that right?
And subscribe.
And subscribe. Y'all come on and subscribe and help a sister out. Y'all help me out. Like, tag, share, and subscribe. So subscribe to the Sister in Power page because we have some good information for you all on today. I'm so excited. It's been a little break. After the passing of my mother, I took a quick little sabbatical and kind of lost my motivation for a minute. But, you know, hey, life goes on. I had to get myself together. And now Sisters in Power is back, and I'm ready to get back into it. And I have some awesome women here on today that's going to talk about women in leadership. If you know Sisters in Power is always a podcast where we talk about women in leadership roles. Women who made it to a certain level of success, who can reach back and help another sister reach their level of success by just empowering them with their story. So that's what we are about. So today, I'm going to ask the ladies to introduce themselves. Introduce your profession, and also introduce your where we talk about church affiliation in leadership roles. So we're getting a little feedback, but we're going to keep rolling, right? Who can reach back and help another sister. All right. So here we go. I'm going to start on my left. We're going to start with Coach Crystal. Coach Crystal, tell us about your real estate empire. And when I say empire, I'm not joking. Y'all, this sister is powerful. She has an empire out of this world. When I saw her with Master P, I'm like, what you doing? Amen. She was out here with Master P, getting her books, launching her books out. And we have all these women up here that have some powerful things and have some things going on we're going to talk about. But I want Coach Crystal to start with herself, introduce her name, her business, and her church affiliation. And what's your profession? Coach Crystal.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am actually Dr. Crystal White, born and raised out of Dallas, Texas, and I attend One Community Church by Pastor Conway Edwards. And I'm actually a serial entrepreneur. I love real estate, though, just simply because the money that it makes, right? And the assets and the legacy that I see that it's going to leave for my children and my children's children. And so one of the milestones I was able to take this year was I was able to take 100 people to the auction with me back in February, and that was my Black History moment. And last year, I was able to help over 225 people become real estate investors. And so that's just changing the game all over the world. So I don't just do it in Texas, I do it in all 50 states. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a mom of two. I have a senior getting ready to graduate, go to college. I have an 11-year-old that feels like he is the big investor. And I'm just excited to be here today and share this knowledge with you all.
And y'all, at the beginning, she says she is Dr. Crystal White. She just received her doctorate. Come on, y'all, clap for my sister. Y'all send some claps, some likes, some hearts, because she worked hard to get her doctorate degree. So I am so proud of Crystal. I've been knowing her for a long time. I'm like a second mom to her. We're really, really close. And when I saw her out on Facebook and we connected again, we had lost touch, and we've just been in touch ever since. And she said, "Mama, you out here doing it." And I was like, really? So we've been connected ever since. And Crystal, I'm so proud of you and all of your accomplishments, and we're going to get further into that. Now we have our next guest. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself, her profession, and her church affiliation.
Good afternoon. I am trapped in the morning. Good afternoon. I am Jari Wilson, and I am born and raised in Dallas, same to you, Dr. Crystal. And I'm a real estate investor and coach, and I'm also an AI strategist. That is the industry that I come out of, and now I teach real estate agents and other people in this market how to use AI to strategize. I'm out of Gateway in the Grand Prairie location, and that's where I serve. And the Unhinged Daughters Club is our group. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and y'all, let me tell you something. She didn't mention it, but hopefully she don't mind me mentioning it. Jari has a story, and we call her Jari. Her name is Jariel, but we call her Jari for short. And when I first met Jariel, I think it was last year at the gala. Yeah, we met last year. We both had on ties, and we just connected. She's like, "You cute." I said, "No, you cute, girl." And we met each other, and I wouldn't have known that she has autism. Would y'all have known that? You wouldn't have known that she is autistic, and she is handling it well with grace. And so from that, she'll get more into her story and tell you a little bit about her story if she chooses to. But I wanted to bring that point out because I wanted you, the ladies out here, to look at her and to see success is not a look. It's what you make of it.
Absolutely.
And you can have autism, you can have any other disability, and you can still be who you want to be, who God created you to be, and who you would like to be in life. Nothing should keep us off limits, right? All right, so I just want to bring that out. So my next guest, this my sister girl. This is a good cousin. And I want her to introduce herself. She is married into the family to one of my cousins. And once I met her and saw how she was moving and saw her professionalism and her beauty, it's not only beauty on the outside. She's beautiful on the inside. And she does have a story, and she has a career that's launching this afternoon.
Yes.
All right, and she's going to talk about it here when we get into it. So let me let her introduce her name and introduce herself, introduce her profession and her church affiliation.
Thank you, Mia. Kinfolk. Rachel Sneed. I'm married to Timothy Sneed, and I'm a financial educator and advisor and founder of the Conversation Room. The Conversation Room is a space where you can reset your relationship with money. A lot of us think that money, you have to have a lot of money to invest or plan, and you don't. A lot of people think it's not for them, right? People who plan and have a lot of money don't look like me. That's not true either. So I've created a space where we can have real, open, honest conversations about money and really dig deep into how we can build wealth and keep it.
All right, now as you can see, I have different professions, but they all tie in together. And whenever I'm doing Sisters in Power, the podcast, I'm always mindful of the guests that I bring on so that you can see how it all meshed together. I'm very strategic in that. So anytime you see the guest on here, I promise you it's because all of them have something in common, and they share it in a different way. All of them have something they can bring to the table, and I'm already excited about what I'm going to do next with each one of them and somebody else, because we're getting ready to have a financial literacy brunch. And really say, get your money ready, get your ticket ready, because we're gonna. That just dropped in my spirit. I think this is where we're gonna, because this is so important in the Black community. She just said it just a minute ago. People think that you have to have a lot of money, and you don't have to have a lot of money. Crystal showed me something where she'd been out here buying up property and land for $1. Y'all didn't hear that. It got quiet. It was $1, and she was like, I'm finna go, and she's on her way where?
I'm actually on my way to Shreveport, Louisiana this upcoming Wednesday. I'm taking 25 students with me, and we're going to buy a couple of blocks in Shreveport.
Did you hear what she said? She said she's finna go buy a couple of blocks. She didn't say a house. She said a couple of blocks. And with that, I'm going to go into my first question. Did you have something? Okay. I'm going to go into our first question. I wanted to start with you, Rachel. I want to ask you, what is financial literacy? And what's the biggest misconception people have?
That's a great question, and something that definitely needs to be addressed. Financial literacy is understanding that making money decisions need to be intentional, and they need to be informed. A lot of people earn a lot, but they don't have a plan for that money. And so when you don't understand that there are other factors behind the numbers, it's emotional decisions. It's your behavior with it, how you manage it. That's financial literacy.
That's financial literacy. She just explained it to us. So if you didn't know, this is what financial literacy, I'm trying to get my tongue right, financial literacy is about. Jeriel, could I ask you a question? How did you become a realtor and coach? And I want you to touch on AI, because that's something that connected you and I, because if you all don't know, that's where we're headed. We say all the time in the church, and I'm coming to you, where we're trying to stay stuck in 2019 or 2000 when we're already moving into a whole nother era with equipment and technology, and we can't have today's church or today's business with 2000s business strategies.
Correct.
So could you tell us that?
Absolutely. So real estate is in my blood. My family, I'm second generation. My stepdad is an investor, so is my mom.
Wait a minute. You say you're second generation.
I am second generation.
Realtor and investor.
Yes, ma'am.
Did y'all catch that? She said it runs in the family. We're going to be talking about that on Sunday school a little bit tomorrow, about family and things about teaching your children at an early age. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So my parents have been in this business for probably a combined over 35 years between the two of them. And to watch them, of course, it wasn't my season. My mom has always been, you need to get into real estate. You need to get into real estate. But there was a process and a journey that I had to experience for myself first. So I've held my license for 5 years and just recently went in full time after having left my AI background. So even that was intentional. You know, we are in a church right now, and when God is doing a thing, it does not always look like the way we would have taken that journey. Coming out of my previous position where you and I connected, when I finally got on the other side, I understood, okay, this is how this ties to real estate. And this is, you know, a lot of people are concerned about how AI affects all types of things. Is AI going to replace me? We're not there yet, but AI is going to replace those who are not using AI. Because simply put, what may take somebody 30 minutes to analyze numbers for one property only takes me 2. Wow.
With AI?
With AI, yes, ma'am.
Is AI on your phone?
AI is on my phone, AI is on my desktop, AI is on my iPad.
Is it on the Google browser?
It is on the Google browser.
I'm asking these questions because some people may not know.
And here's the thing.
We just assume sometimes people know, and they really don't know.
They don't know. And one of the things that I hear often, especially in our community, is, well, I'm not using AI. Baby, you're using AI every day, whether you want to or not. Whether you know it or not. You are literally using it every single day. You have no say-so. As soon as you open up your email, you are using AI. If you are an iPhone user, you are using AI and have been. Apple has been ahead in the industry. If you are on Facebook, watching right here, right now, honey, you using it. You might as well use it in a space, in a capacity where it actually serves you. Yes. Because right now, it's a resource, but it's absolutely untapped. And I think I shared with you, I didn't realize I accidentally made 6 figures using AI. And that was on accident.
Skirt. Back that thing up. Say that again, because when she shared that one, I'm going to get to you, Crystal, the same way. You made how much using AI? Accidentally.
I made my first 6 figures using AI. And when I talked to my CPA, I was like, I didn't make any money. She called me and she was like, girl, you're in a totally different tax bracket. I'm like, well, look really? At God. You know? So now, in this space, I'm able to use what I was kind of just experimenting with more intentionally. And now I'm on track to scale that 6 figures to 6 months instead of the year that it took me to do so. Wow. So, and it's something that I love teaching. I always compare it to, hey, if you are choosing not to employ this in some capacity, you are choosing to be in the wilderness. Wow. And you don't have to. That was
wonder
supposed
for how many years?
Yeah, it was supposed to be an 11-day journey.
And it
took
out
40 years.
Yes.
And some people died in the wilderness.
Because they're not willing to open up to learn something new.
Absolutely.
And something different. And learn from people like you, right?
And it's generational confusion. You are
Wait a minute. Now,
wounding
see, she keep dropping these nuggets. Hold on. It's called generation what?
confusion. You are leaving your legacy to take down giants when they were supposed to be born into promise. Wow. By literally standing in the place that you're standing in. You're going in circles and blaming it on, well, that's just the way I am. Well, that's a choice.
And that's what
you
my
get
mom
to pick
and them did.
the timeline. Mm-hmm. You get to pick the dimension. You get to pick obedience or disobedience. But whether you choose to do anything, you're still making a choice.
Wow.
And those are the behaviors that I address at the conversation room. It could be confusion, very much so, but it's also just patterns that you just repeat because you're not educated. And to be educated is to be aware. So once you're aware.
Okay, say that again. To be educated is what?
Is to be aware.
It's to be aware.
That's right.
Yes.
And so once you are aware, you see it, it's hard to unsee. And you can make the choice to not execute on what you've seen, but then you're just falling back into that generational cycle. So break the cycle, break the pattern, clear up that confusion, get clarity, and be intentional.
And you have to get educated.
And you have to get educated.
Right?
That's right.
Education is key. Knowledge is power.
That's right.
I think I posted it. What school was it that you went to?
I did. I went to Loyola University to earn my bachelor's degree,
Yes.
and then I took several executive courses at Harvard University in Cambridge.
And yours, Jerry?
I am currently pursuing my doctorate at Eagles Elite Christian University.
Woo!
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all come on and send some hearts and some likes for my sisters. We got Crystal. Tell them yours.
So I actually graduated with my bachelor's from Texas A&M, and I just got my doctorate with Leaders Esteemed Christian Academy University out of Florida.
Wow! Look at what the kids do. What's the clock it? Clock it. I didn't know what it was. We're gonna clock it today. We're gonna clock it today, y'all. I'm so proud of y'all. And Jerry, you explained this so totally well because that's what happened with the children of Israel. Just what you're explaining. And so we have to be willing to go forth and understand, know what our forefathers and foremothers didn't make it to where we are. And so we have a better opportunity. We have more information at our hands. Crystal been hooking up with Mama, and she been getting me turned on. We just did something yesterday. And so she said, y'all tired of being the way that you are. And so to have that mentor, have someone in your life, and we're going to get to your mentors here in just a moment because I do have some more questions. It takes someone in your life to mentor you to these positions. And what I mean by position, this position in life. You can't get here by yourself. It took somebody helping you get to where you are right now. It was somebody in your corner, right? So everybody has a mentor. I'm going to start with you, Crystal. You go ahead and tell them again. You said about how much you made accidentally. I'm not asking for the dollar amount because we don't want people in our business. But you go ahead and tell them exactly. Let the audience know yours as well.
So I stand alone with her with AI. So I actually hit a rock and a hard place in my life. And I was just like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm all over the place. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I was like, okay, I want to teach this. I want to teach this. I want to teach people how to get out of survival mode. You know, what do I do? And so that's when he said, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, but I need you to sit in this very moment. And when I tell you guys, I lost everything. Nobody knew this. And when I say everything, I lost everything. And so I kept saying, how can I lose everything when I'm doing everything that you're telling me to do? And he said, you're not. You're not doing what I called you to do. You're not serving me the way that I asked you to serve me. And so he set me in solitude for 6 months. And I said, God, how are my bills are going to get paid? And he said, you're still questioning me, right? When I tell you he paid my bill every month, it was never late. My kids never lost anything. And he said, this is what I want you to do. I need you to understand the exit plan that I'm giving you. And it's for you to serve and give that exit plan to others. So I started. I locked in. I started doing AI. In 3 months, I touched well over 6 figures using AI.
Wait a minute. She said 6. You said how many months?
3 months.
And you made 6 figures.
I made 6 figures,
Keep
and by
going.
the end of the year, I touched 7 figures.
7. Come on, y'all. Clock it. Yes.
And so, I just tell everyone that you have to have an exit plan, but you have to understand your exit plan, because a lot of times we try to make moves and steps that God didn't call us to do. And then we wondering why it doesn't work, or it may just be a seasonal learning adventure. That's kind of what I call it, a learning adventure, because every season something about you should change. You should grow every season. Actually, you should grow every day. So the person I was yesterday, I'm most definitely not her today. And so I always tell people, when you are getting ready, and financial literacy to me is just, it's not all about saving, right? Because a lot of people feel like I'm broke. And I tell people, what you use on your mindset is what you are. So change your conversation within yourself. And so for me, it's making the money, making it grow, and making it work for you. And so when you learn to make your money work for you, I learned how to make $500 work for me. $500 have grew me. So people say, oh, you can't turn $99 into six figures. And I said, well, I know, who is your God?
And I'm finna find out.
Because I know who my God is. And that is just something just as a culture that we really have to understand, understanding the value of a dollar, for one. Yes. I think that's a big misconception, because a lot of times we feel like as quick as we get it, as quick as we can spend it. And then we're in a rut and we're trying to figure it out, and now we feel stuck.
Yeah, the struggle is the behavior. I really go back to that. And so you're confused. You make all this money, spend a little bit, save some, and then you're like, this doesn't make sense. I'm making good money. It's how you behave with it. That's the difference. And so you need to have conversations and become aware of your patterns and behaviors, so you can understand why you spend. It's those emotional decision-making skills that put us in a struggle situation, right? I was so mad, so I went and shopped. Pause, right? You were so mad, that's what triggers you when you shop? So now I want you to start paying attention to when you start spending and how you feel afterwards, and what by that's when we can start making some changes.
So once you identify it,
you have to identify
what
that
your
pattern.
triggers are.
That's right.
Then that's when you go forward.
You can start making that
start
transformation.
making the transition and the transformation.
That's right.
Great. Jerry-O.
My grandmother used to say, you got to be able to call a thing a thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to clear up something. Lack is not biblical. And in the Black community, for some reason, we have tied ourselves to, oh, this says that I am humble to God. Yeah. No, that loss happens just because life happens.
Yes.
But to box our Heavenly Father, the King of Kings, into lack, into loss all the time, it says that you are not believing him to be who he is.
That's
because
good.
we talk about a father
That's
who
good.
Literally did and performed miracles with very little.
Yes.
And the Bible tells us that as a man thinketh,
So is he.
the Bible also tells us that our people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And we have this commitment, and I call it a covenant. I know covenant is a very strong word, but I genuinely believe there is a covenant that we have made as a community to lack. Because as soon as we see someone else making a way out of what we deemed as nothing, it triggers us. We make it about them, but it's really what's being rattled and stirred in our spirit.
Oh, that's good.
And it comes across as jealousy.
So
it comes
exposes
across,
you,
it
that
exposes
person.
you.
Yes.
And instead of you looking at it as an opportunity to say, Heavenly Father, what is it within me? Because that stirring is God saying, hey, baby, we got some checkpoints. We got some stuff we have to take off of you. And I can do it. We ask God to do a thing. And then as soon as he, okay, I'm going to share this with y'all. Make you laugh
Come on,
real quick.
she done got started. Come on.
I
Come on, Jerry.
remember when I was like, God, you've been saying that I'm supposed to be wealthy because there's things that I'm supposed to do within my community. why you ain't do it yet? And God said, baby, every time I give you $5, you go to Wendy's and get a 4 for $4. I can't build with that. If I give you $1 million and you can't steward this 5, what am I going to do? And there is a responsibility that comes with wealth. So until you learn to manage your spending, until you learn how to invest, until you learn what makes sense, nothing else that I do for you. And because I love you, I can't give you the gift. It is not punishment. This is a season for you to say, okay, let me look at what I have going on. Where's all of my money going?
Yes.
Right? And how do I move from this space? It's an opportunity. A lot of the times we look at our valleys as low points. I looked at my valley as an opportunity. When we talk about Ruth gleaning in the field, she was there gathering information, but provision was already there. You mentioned that you had lost everything. I went through a season that was very similar, but that was my season for not only being provided for, because like you, God came through at every space. And what he was showing me in that season was, hey, daughter, if I can provide for you when you have nothing, imagine what I'm going to do when you believe me for more. But God is only as big as we allow him to be.
That's good.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
would love to piggyback off that
Go ahead.
because my husband is my mentor now. I would say my family was, my mother and grandmother, those who were around to raise me. But then once I came into adulthood, I feel like my husband took that spot. And my husband has always said, Rachel, you need to hold God's hand. And I've explained that I am. I'm holding. He says, yeah, but there are times when you feel so uncertain. And when things get difficult, you just have so much doubt. And that's when I would say, from my experience, is when I failed, right? Failed kind of financially and just all around because of that uncertainty. But my husband said something recently here that it just clicked. And he said, you know, Rachel, you just need to be obedient. And that word, I was able to associate what obedience means in other areas of my life so that I can then correlate it to the area that I'm putting forth some effort, right? And so I thought, obedient, okay, that's what that means. And that means the way I interpret it for me in my life was just holding God's hand and never letting go.
And that's why you're where you are today, launching
Yes.
something this afternoon because of the push.
Yes.
Because of the push from your husband,
Yes.
which you thought. Here's what I've learned. When we're on this journey, we start out with people who we think that are going to be in our corner, people who we think that are for us, but all the time, my gift is disturbing you. Am I right? Your gift is disturbing somebody. And it comes across sometimes, I hate to say it sometimes, but it comes across as you're just jealous. Women will become jealous of a gift that you possess. And when you understand what gift you have and you work the room, I don't care where I am. And my husband will say, girl, when you get up here, you don't see how powerful you are. And then I get home and I'm so scared. I told him this morning, I said, oh, I'm so nervous. I said, oh, Lord, I went to the restroom about 2-3 times. And I'm just breathing hard and I'm nervous because I've been told and I've been taught, you better be nervous. Every time you get up, because that tells me you're not within yourself. You're operating under the power of the Holy Ghost. And so you need God everywhere you go, every platform you touch, everyone you shake hands with. And so you're absolutely correct. It brings about, it disturbs people's spirit when you have a certain level of success. Friends begin to fall off. Family members begin to fall off. They don't support you like you would love for them to. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me today. You want someone to support you because I've cried. Have y'all cried?
Oh, absolutely.
Because of someone who you thought that should be there for you. And my number one right now has been my husband and my brother, Pastor Cox. He was the first one that saw what I was doing with Sisters in Power, and he said, my sister for real. He said, I'm gonna help her. He helped me get my first microphone. My husband would get whatever I needed. He'd get on Amazon and he'd go work. He'd go referee. He'd go do whatever he had to do because he believed in me. He believed in the gift that I had. And so he believed in Sisters in Power. Everything you see, someone blessed me with it. And that's why I have the confidence that I have, and I have something that I know that only God could give to us. And so I want you all to touch on a little bit of what I just shared, and not calling any names. We don't want to shame nobody. We don't want to put nobody out there. But it is a thing, is a thing. And sometimes we have to say those things and expose that type of behavior, because I'm still in a position where I still have to love you from a distance. When you're growing, and I'm coming to you, everybody can't go with you. So when you're building, because I want to talk about building a house, I want y'all to think and ponder when I come to you about a model home and what it takes to sell. Think about what's in a model home. It's already pre-decorated. All it needs is somebody to buy. Come on, Crystal.
So just to piggyback off what you said in the beginning, that you can be connected to people and you realize that they're jealous. Well, what I have determined is they're actually not jealous. They're fighting trauma. And so when they are fighting trauma, they don't even know what that looks like for them. So they honestly don't know how to sit back and clap and be happy and be excited for you, because at some point in their life, they never had people to sit back and clap for them. And so I think it just comes from emotional trauma. And when we're in those rooms, because we say, hey, I want to be in the rooms. I want to be in the rooms. And I always ask people, but can you handle the room? And so that's...
Wait a minute. Some people want to be in the room, and you said, can you
handle the room? Wow. Because everybody can't handle the room. I remember there were rooms that I said, God, I need you to put me in that room. And when he put me in the room, I was ready, but I couldn't handle it. And I couldn't handle it because I wasn't mentally prepared for it. And so last year I asked him, I said, God, I need you to put me in every room, because people would invite me and I'll make up an excuse why I couldn't come or why I couldn't show up. And that was my own mental battle that I was fighting. And he said, girl, if you ask me to put you in a room again and I hand out that invite and you do not show up, don't ask me again. And so he invited me to several rooms last year. And every room that I walked in last year, to be in a room where people already know who you are, it makes you really know who you are. And so that's where the mindset shift comes in at. And I always tell people, girl, you it. Like, do you know who you are? Like, do you know the God that you serve? And so when it comes to real estate, because a lot of people feel like they can't do it. They say, oh, I don't have the money, I can't do it. And I'm like, oh, girl, it's the mindset. Or they say, oh, I'm stuck. I'd be like, oh, it's the mindset. And so people get on the phone, I'm broke. And I'd be like, baby, you are not broke. You are shifting. And that's my word. And I have to remind people that.
She said, you're not broke. You're shifting.
You're shifting. You're shifting into your next season. And a lot of times people say, oh, my God, I'm struggling. And I said, no, it's just your survival season, but it's getting ready to change, right? Like your struggle season is about to be over with. So people always, I hear it a lot. They say, I don't believe that you can buy land for $1. And so I used to say, well, let me prove it to you. But then God was like, well, if they are aligned correctly and if they are obedient to the season that I have them in, then you don't have to prove it, because the proof is in the pudding. And so I got to a place where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be posting all this. Well, guess what? God used my army, and my army was my students. I woke up one morning and all my students were posting like they had land for $1. So now my inbox was flooding, and I start telling people, okay, everything that look good though ain't always good. And that's just like connections. When you make connections with people, you have to use that discernment, because he gives it to you. And so, we can see an ugly house and it could be $200, but you have to understand that ugly house may cost you $15,000. And so that's why you have to make good decisions. You have to get knowledge, right? Because I can just say, here's the sites to go buy the properties, but do you understand the due diligence? And even due diligence on a house, you have due diligence over your life. And if you don't have due diligence over your life, then you're just going to spend, like what she said, off of emotions. And emotions can get you caught up in some bad things.
That's good, Crystal.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to speak to that about, she said not jealousy, but there is from trauma. Okay, you want to speak to that?
So I've come to the realization that the Bible has been putting us on all of this since its beginning. Yeah. There is scripture that tells us we battle not against flesh and bone, but against powers and principalities. That is literally, I could be looking you in your face and I'm wondering now, why would this person be behaving this way? I don't know what their experiences have been. I don't know what traumas they've gone through. So I'm not arguing with the person. It is literally, my perspective is based on what I haven't been delivered from. And that allowed me to start moving differently with people.
Yes.
And it also allowed me to stop taking the responsibility of other people's behaviors. And once I put that down, life has just been peaceful.
Now, wait a minute. Right there. So what you said is you stop moving with other people's behavior.
Yeah, this don't even have nothing to do with me.
Because what you're going through don't have nothing to do with me.
This literally has nothing to do with me. Yeah. And, that's the other thing, we know that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And one of the things that I realized when I was reading in the book of Genesis, God created a heaven and an earth. Yes. It didn't say hell. It literally stopped at God created heaven and earth. Going back and further into scripture, it also says that the enemy was cast down to the earth to roam. So the way that he's roaming is through the people. So as soon as I accept your issues as something about me, and now I'm projecting that onto somebody else, well, that's how the enemy moves. It's very simple. It's not that complicated.
Y'all look into the camera and say, yo issue. Look in that camera and say, y'all, your issue ain't got nothing to do with me.
The other side of that is I think we also have to stop burdening ourselves with the walk that people are with us on. Because in Acts 9, I don't know if anybody pays that much attention, but this is one of my favorite. We all know the story about when Saul was converted.
Yes.
Saul was on the road with men going to do what he was going to do. This was to kill
good.
and imprison. Yeah, he was up to no good. Those men, when Saul lost his sight, still had the task of taking him to Damascus.
Okay.
So even though we don't hear anything else about these men, they still took him where he was supposed to be. Regardless, everybody is not supposed to carry you through the entire story, but they still play a purpose. And we have to also remember, even Jesus had a Judas. So why would you be upset that people come into your life? It may hurt. We're human.
Yes.
We are human. But Jesus already know who Judas was.
Mm-hmm. He had to serve a purpose.
He had to serve a purpose.
So people serve a purpose in our life.
Yes.
There's a reason why people are in our life. Am I right?
Absolutely.
And it's for a season. Some are seasonal and some are forever.
That's it.
But you have to know the season.
You gotta know the season.
Know the season and then be to a point in your walk with God where you're okay with saying let it go.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting real good at that now.
Yes.
Because I used to cry a lot because I couldn't understand. And it was something that I told my son when he was graduating high school. I said, Chubby, everybody dream ain't your dream.
That's it.
And you have to know when it's time for you to cut some friends loose. It's a even family. You have to know when to raise back. Because everybody don't see what God is doing in your life. Because it's not for them to see. It's for you. Right? Can I ask another question? Have you ever wanted to give up? Rachel, Jerry, and Crystal. Have you ever just wanted to give up? I'm going to start with you, Rachel.
Yes, I have. I found that it was more so in times when things got difficult. It wasn't when it was easy. It was all good when it was easy. But when it got difficult, when it got uncertain, I'll be transparent. Recently, right? I just stepped away from corporate America after 19 years and said, I'm going to invest and trust in myself, right? After God, with holding God's hand, I'm going to go out on my own. And there were many nights where I thought, I don't know if I can do it, right? I believe and I trust my husband, but I had everything so planned out. I was so intentional, right, all of these years. And it's not that I'm not now, but I'm just unsure. I'm uncertain. That's when I feel like I want to just give up. But I find that education and that accountability is when that thought quickly comes out of my head, because to be accountable is to be consistent.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that my husband does. He holds me accountable. He says, Rachel, I support you 100% going out on your own, but I'm going to make sure that you reach your goal. I'm going to make sure you're intentional, because you've got a goal out there, and I want to make sure you get there. So there will be days where you don't want to get up, or the business call you had didn't go well. You keep pushing. So accountability and education.
Pushing. Accountability and education. Have you ever wanted to give up, Jariel?
Every day.
Every day.
But I remember the Holy Spirit being so good. We have such a wonderful Father. Yeah. There have been times where I have just laid in my bed. You talked about, me being diagnosed with autism. Well, I also have ADHD and dyslexia. Mm-hmm. So, and I have experienced almost every level of trauma you can imagine. I've done everything but die. Wow. And I remember God saying, you've done hard things before. You have been through hard things before. You can cry, but you can't quit. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, I'm a crybaby. One thing I'm going to do is cry. I'm cry when I'm happy, I'm sad, it doesn't matter. But it's one of those things, and going back, of course, to Scripture, we think about Jesus and we forget how much he wept.
Yes.
We forget Jesus came into this world under attack. Somebody was already looking for him as soon as they knew of his birth.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then we, walking in this realm, forget that these things they apply to us. This is every day, and it does not surprise him. Yeah. And we think we can't go to God and be upset. We think we can't go, well, if this is my Father, if you are my Father, the way that you say that you are a father to the fatherless, if you are who that you say you are, and your word says that you are not man that you lie, then anything that you have given me is a promise. But it's up to me to see it through. Yeah. And I know that if you gave me something and the enemy says, girl, did he really tell you that? See, there's the difference between Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were given clear instruction, but as soon as the enemy came, they got to shaking and questioning. Jesus was also tempted when he was on the mount. The biggest difference was he looked at the enemy and said, I'm still the son of God, regardless. Yeah. And we forget that. It does not matter what the outcome is. Were you, going back to what you were saying, were you obedient? Did you move when I said move? Was there hesitation? Because I think we also fail to realize delay is disobedience.
Oh, and it has consequences. Wait a minute. Delay is disobedience.
Absolutely.
Because when you delay, it's just like you not paying God no attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know if you guys have teenagers, but I do. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you to wash those dishes, baby, this didn't mean hold that off until tomorrow. Well, now you can't go and do the things you wanted to do because you didn't do the things I asked you to do.
You were disobedient.
You were disobedient.
And that's what God does to us. When
Absolutely.
We come asking him for something, he says, well, you didn't do what I told you to do. So now you want something, and I'm just going, no, I didn't say I wasn't going to give it to you. But it's delayed.
It's delayed. You're not getting it now. We can try again next weekend.
Oh, that's good.
You'll get it when you're obedient. When you do the dishes, then you'll get it.
Yeah, I'll reward you. Yeah. Go ahead, Crystal.
So I'm kind of like her. I'm like, one week I want to give up every day, and it's like every week I be like, oh God, what are we doing? And it comes to me to remind myself that in my season, so in 2022, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Mm-hmm. And when I got the news, I was just like, this ain't real. Like, what you telling me this ain't real? They said, oh, well, you need to have emergency surgery, like today. And I'm like, no, let me go home. Let me talk to my family. And I literally got in the car and I started praying to God. I was like, I need you to show me a way, because this ain't what this doctor's saying. This is not it. Mm-hmm. And so he said, this is your quiet season. Wow. And I said, oh, okay. He's like, you're not going to tell nobody. And so I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my parents. And so when I tell y'all I got in the Word like I had never been in the Word before.
It'll make you do it.
It'll make you get in the Word. And I just was like, when I have those moments now, I'd be like, well, if you didn't give up during that season, why are you giving up now? Yeah. And so that is my push every day, that I'd be like, okay, this is too much. And he'd be like, because it's the assignment I have you on. So what you could have just fail the test, you just not gonna finish your assignment. And so, sometimes we feel like that. Well, I'll say I feel like that sometimes I take on more than I can bear. And then I have to remember that he doesn't give you more than you can bear. And it just be me, like I be in my own head sometimes. I be like, well, what if this person don't do this? And I think because I really have it in my head that I want everybody to win. But sometimes I have to realize that everybody's not in that season where they're ready to win. Yes. So it's like I can't keep pushing, and so I would like, you know what, I just give up. I'm on the phone with this person, they not doing what I'm telling them exactly what to do, God. They not doing, and then he says, but I'm also telling them what to do. They're not on your time and they're on mine. And so that was, in that season, I constantly have to remind myself that, because it hits me every single day. Wow. So I'm just grateful of his grace that he gives to me, because it gives me patience. And being an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people have to understand patience, because, a lot of times we get on social media and we see the big houses and the flashy cars, and you feel like you're not doing enough, when honestly you're doing more than enough. And so, I always have to remind people that everything you see on social media ain't what you see. Yes. And so, and I have to remind myself that when I'm talking to people as well, like, Crystal, you can't give up. Girl, you ain't giving up. And it's just as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. And one thing I wrote here on my notes is everybody can't walk with you while you're building. Everybody cannot walk with you when you're building. And that's where I tapped into your Zoom when you were talking about the building, the tools for building. The builder season. And we're going to hang our hat there for this next 15 minutes. I've had to learn that the hard way. When you're in a building process, that everybody cannot walk with you. Everybody don't have the same drive. They don't have the same vision. They don't have the same enthusiasm. You could be so happy about something, and you just smiling, and you just going at it, and they just over there just taking their own time. Just, I'm like, I need you to get with it. But everybody's passion is not your passion.
And that's where I go, and I tell people all the time, be the builder. Don't wait on nobody to be the builder for you, right? And I always tell people, you can have big money conversations with small-minded people.
Wait a minute. Say that again in the microphone.
You can't have big money conversations with small-minded people.
Lord have mercy.
And a lot of times we tend to say, okay, I'm finna invest in this business because she done showed me this, but then we pick up the phone and we call a person that's our friend and say, girl, I just got off this Zoom, what do you think about this? And they be like, girl, I wouldn't do that. And so guess what you do? Mm-hmm. You let somebody else be the builder for you when you should be the builder. You don't let other people make the decisions for you. And then guess what? That person turn around and do the same thing that they told you not to do, and now they're successful, and now you're like, well, why are you doing? Because they already saw the vision. They just didn't want to see you in it.
Wow. That's good. Come on, Rachel.
I like that because I find that a lot in our community, we want to start big. We don't want to start small, but that's where it starts. Small, informed decisions over time create that financial stability. So if it's money we're after, make small intentional decisions, and that's where you create. Misalignment, people have this view of you and what they expect you to look like. Yes. You still driving that car? Yes, right? I'm not going to get a different car that's more expensive because you expect me to. I think you ladies both touched on not living for other people. Live for yourself, stay in your lane, be intentional with what you're doing and with what your goals are, because when they're not aligned, that misalignment, it doesn't announce itself immediately, right? It lets you feel like you're successful long enough until you get good and comfortable, and then you look up and say, wait a minute, this isn't working for me. So the point I'm making and the lesson learned here is small informed decisions create that stability that you're ultimately looking for.
That's so good. And I want to tap into that, what you just said. And I want to take it back to talking about building a home. Anyone who's built a home, you know that it takes a foundation. It's the foundation that's very important. You can't build a home if you don't have foundation. When my husband and I first built our first home together, it was just dirt, right? And we were in a process, we were both looking like, we ain't gonna be able to afford this. Like, how are we gonna do this? That's the doubt right there. Already in your head, you're doubting yourself. The reason why some of us can't make it is because we doubt ourselves and where we could be in our positions in our life, wherever it may be. But we were in the building process, and so I want you ladies to talk about that just a little bit, about how foundation is very important when you're building. Because every one of us, if you heard any one of us talking here this afternoon, it's been about our foundation in Jesus Christ. Without him, we are nothing. Without him, we can't move or breathe. Without him, we could not be where we are today. Without him, we couldn't even get up this morning. Without him, we couldn't have our professions. We couldn't have Sisters in Power. You couldn't have the conversation room. You wouldn't be Realtor Coach. You wouldn't be Dr. Coach Crystal. Without him, we are nothing. And without the foundation and building the home, we were just standing there looking at dirt. But baby, I tell y'all, about 3 years in, we got them papers in the mail, and we realized that them taxes wasn't playing. So now we understand what we were building on. Y'all not going to talk to me. You have to know what you're building on. And when you don't get get an understanding of what you're building on, it'll come back to you later. It will show back up, and you will be responsible for where you built your foundation. So you have to watch the company you keep. You have to watch your tools that you use. Every home, when building a home, you have to have certain tools to build a home. I'm going to start with you, Crystal, because I love what you did on every brick meant something. Let me see. I have discipline, set boundaries, faith, be consistent, take action, and know when to pivot. Crystal.
And so, and this is good, just understanding your foundation, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to kind of take you through the real estate part of it. Yes. So when you get ready to buy a home, a lot of people don't even test the soil. And so you have to understand if the soil is even for you. You know, I tell people all the time, I said, when I bought my home, I kept going over and I kept taking a shovel and doing the dirt, and the guy was like, why do you keep turning? I said, because I want to test the soil. I want to see if it's black dirt, if it's red dirt. And he said, well, what does that matter? I said, because I'm going to plant my Bible, and I need to make sure the soil can hold it up. Wow. And so when I planted my Bible, they started laying the foundation. Well, that's just like your life. When you lay that foundation, if you didn't test the soil and you don't know what foundation you are laying, your foundation going to be rocky. So when you start building that home, you wondering why the left side of the house is leaning to the left and the right side of the house is standing up. Well, for one, you didn't test your soil, so you didn't understand the foundation that you was laying, and now we're wondering why it's off. But that's where you have to start having discipline. Mm-hmm. You have to be obedient, because there was homes I wanted to buy, and God said, that ain't the foundation that I have for you. And I was frustrated. I was like, oh, my God, no, this is my house. I want this house. This is the spot. This is the corner lot. This is it. And he said, that is not the foundation I have for you. And so in your life, you have to understand when to pivot and when to slow down. Because a lot of times we continue to try to say, you know what, this door is for me. Yeah. When honestly, that door didn't even open for you. It opened for the person behind you, but you chose to walk through it. So now the foundation of what you thought he was building for you is off because you stepped into the wrong door. So that would be where I would always encourage people to understand is understand your soil, because it starts from the soil. I tell people, listen, you can't buy dirt no more. Wow. But you can continue to build a house. So I like to buy land. And people say, why do you like to buy land? Well, because they don't make it no more. And once I got it, it's mine. So guess what? The developer has to come to me. Yes. And so
to do what?
To build, to buy.
There you go. The developer has to come to who? You?
To me,
To build on.
my land.
There you go.
And it's just like, you have to go through those steps of a survey. So I always tell people, you have to get a surveyor before you even start building, because you need to know where your land starts and stops at. So in your life, you have to do a survey around your life. Where are you going to start at? Where are you going to stop at? Who are you going to let come in that door once God set that foundation and build that house and open that door? Did you survey the entire premises before you even started to build?
Oh, that's good. Jerry, you store it right there. And then, Rachel, we're going to come to you. Foundation.
I think for me, foundation was so important because, to Crystal's point, you do have to know when to pivot. When I came into my previous position, I kept feeling like, okay, well, they're growing me, they're expanding me, and this was AI. Here I was, 4-time dropout at the time, somehow landed an AI position. That's how I can tell God moves. I wasn't even looking for it, but and I've shared with you, of course, how that came about. But I kept trying to be comfortable there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and God kept making me uncomfortable there. And because we're all in some way connected to a real estate space, God said, "Baby, you're renting here." And you keep trying to make a home here. And all of the opportunities kept looking like, this is for me, this is for me. And God has said, no, 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 no. This is not for you. This is a space that you are in for now. You are renting this space because it's going to serve its purpose. It's going to do everything that I need it to do, but you're going to build a house. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. This happens all the time. Anytime I try to make something work that God didn't say,
Yes.
it gets a little ghetto. So with that being said, I just realized I was trying to build my foundations in temporary seasons. And
you
God
can't
being
build
the
a
graceful,
foundation in temporary seasons.
Yeah, you
Put
can't.
that in the chat. Say that again. You can't build what?
You cannot build foundations in temporary seasons.
Wow.
Yeah, so every time I was trying to force his hand, he would remind me why he was the father and I was the child. So, with that being said, on the other side, we never see it when we're journeying through it. You never know.
Yes.
But, again, the Bible is so clear about everything. I know the road ahead of you. I know the plans that I have for you. Stop trying to, absolutely. And stop trying to take over what I'm doing. You're not me, So once I finally got on the other side, one of the things that I realized, I come from a generation of a legacy of women who are highly, highly educated. We have a lot of highly educated Black women between the ages of about 47 and 66.
Yes.
My
so
ladies
you're
who
never
are on
too
the
old.
Absolutely. But one of the things that I realized when I was in AI for corporate was there's a gap. These women, a lot of them are ready to retire, but not quite there yet. They still got a fire in them. Now here's this new thing. I've got all of these degrees, I've got all of these credentials, but there's this new thing that I don't have access to. And now, do I spend 4 years going back to school to learn this, or do I sit on the sidelines and watch these people who are nowhere near where I've been? They don't have my life experience, they don't have my professional experience. Do I let them take every opportunity that's supposed to be mine? And God said, this is where I want you to serve. There's a collective of women who need you. There's a collective of women who are like, I am ready to learn this. I just need enough to stay sharp. I don't have to go back to school. I'm utilizing my resources, and I'm almost ready to retire, Jari. I don't want to spend 4 years and thousands of dollars. I've called my children. They tell me how to use ChatGPT, but I need to know it. And that's where God was like, that's the space that I want you to fill.
And she said she's ready almost to retire.
Me?
You say you almost ready to retire?
I didn't say that about myself, but I receive it.
Okay. 'Cause I thought that's what I heard.
Thank you, Father. I hear you, Lord.
And we may go over just maybe about 10 minutes right now. I'll give you the cue, let you know when to wrap up, because this is good. We maybe do about a little 10 minutes. Go ahead and finish it, and we'll go to Rachel.
And I was just going to say one of my favorite scriptures, my favorite stories in the Bible is 2 Kings 4. And just, Crystal, coming back to what you were saying, your silent season. One of the things that I realized in that story, prophet gave her a very clear instruction: take your children, go in the house, and shut the door.
Wow.
Because to your point, sometimes we want to call even our very well-meaning. Not everybody in your life is a hater, but people are speaking from their own experiences.
I call
so
them
I
the
imagine
mean wells. You got them
the
people you like, they
wells.
mean well.
They absolutely do. And I remember, I don't know if you all are familiar with that story, but she's trying to save her children from being enslaved because her husband passed, and there was tax debt that was owed. And imagine if she had been able to call a very well-meaning, her best friend, girl, this man told me to go and get some jars. I only got 4 ounces of olive oil in the house. And he said, go and get some jars. And her friend, well-meaning, would have been like, girl, you crazy. We got to save the kids. And you talking about some jars and you only got 4 ounces of olive oil. What are you talking about? Right?
Yeah.
And in that, the other thing is, prophet asked her specifically, what do you have in your house? You are already equipped. She already had the olive oil. It may not have been enough, but it was in the house. It was in the house. The third thing, and my favorite part, when she was instructed to go out into the town and collect the jars, he didn't tell her how many to collect, meaning it was up to her to decide how big this was going to be. Yes. And lastly, she also didn't know the purpose for the instruction. Wow. She was told to move, and it was not until she did what she was told to do, again, obedience. That he said, pour the olive oil into the jars and sell it. Once she sold it, she not only had enough to take care of what she needed, but the leftover. And a lot of the times we are sitting on that, and the foundation is the oil that God gave you. I remember when God told me, I kept trying to make all of my business ideas pretty and perfect. And God came to me in a vision, and he said, you keep trying to wrap the gift when you are the gift.
Now look, you're going to have to say that again, because it's somebody out here that their mindset is somewhere else and don't even realize that. Say that again.
You are the gift.
You are.
You keep trying to wrap something I already gave you.
Wow.
And we do that so often. We think we have to have all of the perfect systems, all of the things, and God is like, that is your delay. Yeah. You thinking, and we call it imposter syndrome.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Yeah. And it's once I got out of that, and God said, people are looking for you, and you're too busy trying to modify systems.
Ooh, this is something else. I'm telling y'all, we're coming back with a brunch. Come on, Rachel. Foundation. We're still talking about that house and the foundation.
Yeah, foundations are so important when it comes to financial literacy in particular. As you grow up, you tend to repeat what you've seen or what you've experienced. Yes. If you grew up in a household where money was pretty tight, you had enough to survive, right? You didn't have extra, but you were clothed, you were fed, and you were warm. But when it came down to making decisions, it was always some sort of trade-off, right? If that's what you saw as your foundation, you're more than likely going to perpetuate that throughout your life into adulthood. So the foundation is so important. It's not bad, but you need to be aware of it. Yes. You need to be aware of it so that you can either change it or continue to perpetuate the cycle, which we don't want. And I feel like as a community of people, regardless of race, you should look at your consider the ancestral context, right? What did your people endure? Because you want to grow as the generations progress. Yes. And you need to look at that so you can appreciate kind of how far we've come as a people. So that foundation is so important so that you can figure out where you want to go.
And that is absolutely correct. You're so right in what you said about ancestral. We have to think about our parents and what we grew up in the house observing.
Yes.
And all of our parents, I'm sure I can speak for all of us, and we got a few people sitting in on the live, y'all. We can only go by what we've seen in our household until we get big enough to where our mind can expand, where we get outside of our environment and we begin to experience other opportunities, if you will. We grew up in East Dallas projects. So had we, and I'm speaking for my brothers and sisters, had we continued to keep that mindset, we wouldn't be where we are today. I'm going to always rep. I'm East Dallas proud. And my brothers and sisters, we East Dallas proud. I'm proud to say where I'm from because it lets someone else know who's in that position or who may be in I don't know what they call them now because back then they were housing projects. Now they call it affordable housing. They just got a cute way of saying it now, but it's still the projects. And so when you have that project mentality, you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to grow. You're never going to expand. And I have learned through this process of SIP, which it's now 3 years now, God has put me in rooms with women and with millionaires I never would have had the opportunity to have had I stayed in that same mindset. And he's still doing it now. SIP got some things coming up. I can't even go into it, but I don't want to give away. You can't let the devil hear what God has planned for you because he's always out to set, to kill, steal, and to destroy. Mm-hmm. And so I look at this as the home foundation. All of us have had to have a foundation because our foundation was my mom and our dad. We saw our mother stay married for 60 plus years. And she set the foundation of church. We would she would make sure we was on that church bus every Sunday going to church and getting a foundation that was going to keep us throughout our life. And so that's the purpose when you're building a home. The home is to build a home that's going to last. And so when storms come, like they do, if it's built on a firm foundation, it can withstand. Some of the roof may be gone, and we're getting ready to close out right now. I feel myself. If some of the roof may get torn out. You can go ahead with the music. The roof may be open. This side of the house may be torn apart, and then this side is still standing. It's because there's been a foundation that has been set somewhere. And you have to know that your foundation should always be set on Jesus Christ. Like Crystal said, know the soil that you're building on. Know the people around you where you're building. Know when it gets to a point where I need to change and pivot. This may not be the foundation. I may go look at another piece of land that may benefit me more. And where Rachel comes in, she's the person before you get to the house. Let me learn about my financial status. Let me learn how to purchase a home and how to save and do these things before you go and make that big purchase. Homes are a life-lasting purchase. It could either benefit you personally or it can benefit you financially. Which one you want? The question is, which one do you want? Most of us want it to benefit us financially, but we haven't put ourselves in a position to own. Right. We're still what? Renting. So build the foundation that you want. Don't just be a model home. Don't just look pretty on the outside, but not inhabited. What do I mean by inhabited? Meaning you live there. And if you want to live in something good, you got to make sure that you're not just renting and you're not just a model home because people think this is what you should be. This is where I should live. This is the kind of house that I should have. Don't put yourself out because of what other people think or they feel that you're supposed to be, right? So this is what I wanted to hang my hat on, y'all, about building a home foundation and not being a model home. Have some discipline. You got to have discipline in everything that you do. And when I saw you talking brick by brick, the bricks were discipline, setting boundaries, faith, be consistent, and take action. Because we are women empowered. We are women empowered in our own right, and we are an example to other women. This is where Sisters Empowers was birthed because of I've seen women that are a color of us, that I wanted to to other young ladies to see you can do just what Rachel is doing. You can do what Jari is doing. You can do what Crystal is doing. It's all in your mindset. And you can't take everybody with you, right? You can't take everybody with you. I want to thank y'all so much for joining Sisters in Power today. I don't think this is going to be the end. Matter of fact, I know it's not because I'm getting ready to put something in place. I want you, as we're closing, Rachel, tell the people what you got coming up this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'm so proud of my sister, my cousin. Go ahead and tell the people what you're doing this afternoon. When she leave here, she got business to take care of. Tell the people.
Thank you. Yeah, I am going to support another woman leader. She has a wellness firm that could use our support in Mesquite, and so I'm going to go out there, talk about financial literacy, and support her business in your health, because that's where it starts. You have to have your health, and then you can move on to your wealth and build from there.
Health and then wealth. And then Crystal, you're on your way where this week to buy up some blocks? She didn't say a house. She buying blocks. Tell the people where you're on your way to now.
So I'm on my way to Shreveport, Louisiana, and actually we're going to buy 4 blocks. We already marked them out, did our research, and so we will be hitting the road. Y'all keep us in your prayers. Wednesday morning we'll be leaving at about 3 a.m. so we can be prepared, and I'm excited.
Wonderful. Jerry, what you got coming up?
Lots of things. I'm saying yes to God in every way. So we launched our Powerhouse Collective, and that is a space where women in business can come and get faith, because sometimes we know that God shows up more than any system could. So that is launching, and then we also have launched our Unhinged Daughters Club coaching. So we are accepting new coaching clients there as well.
As you can see, all of the women have something powerful coming up. Tune into their Facebook page. Their names, I guess, will be on our page. We'll put it up there. Rachel, could you give your social media information so someone can connect with you, and then Jerry, and then you, Crystal?
Absolutely, yes. I'm on all of the handles, Facebook. I've got a website, www.conversation-room.com. You could put in the word literacy, financial literacy, that way the finance piece comes up. I'm on YouTube and Instagram. Connect with me.
And I am Jarielle Wilson on all platforms. That's Jarielle. Last name spelled the regular way, so that's easy to find. Thank you.
And I am Dr. Crystal White. You can find me on all platforms, Dr.Crystal and you can visit my website at www.thetransitionplan.com, and that's for any woman that is ready to transition from survival to stability.
Wow, that's good. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm in the process now. I'm praying, and I have a vision to have my own building. That's what I'm praying for. I appreciate my brother, Pastor Cox, allowing us to use this space. But God is saying do something different now. Move to something different, because there's bigger plans in store for Sisters in Power. So he just told me just get out and ride. I'm just riding, looking at property. I don't have not a dollar, dime, whatever you want to call it, for the building, but I just believe. Can I just say I believe? Can y'all say it with me? I believe. Put it in the microphone. Can y'all put it in the microphone?
I believe.
I believe she can do it. I really do, and I'm really believing that in time, he's going to provide Sisters in Power with our own building. I'm going to have all the equipment that I need. I'm going to have everything that I need to make this thing work the way it needs to work, even though now we're doing all right. I think I'm doing all right. What y'all think? I think I'm doing all right.
Fabulous.
Doing all right. So I just believe that's where I'm headed. That's where my mindset is headed. So I'm definitely looking into bigger and better things. Sister in Power got some things coming up. We were in Houston about in June, June of last year. Houston did us real good. They set us up so nice, and I was so proud. We are having the Maximize Your Womanhood. Your girl Sisters in Power will be the host panel, hosting a panel with a WNBA ex-player. Y'all didn't hear what I said. Did y'all hear what I said?
We heard you.
The God that I serve will set you up in rooms with women of all caliber and all incomes and all professions. I believe that. So anybody that's attached to me, you got to come with the same energy, because I believe. And so I'm just believing God for bigger and better things. We're going to have Sophia Ruff in there. We're going to have Dr. Kata Pusher. She's our host and the one who's having it all. I believe it's going to be in Dallas this year. So go out on Kinesia Mouton. If you look her up on social media, get your ticket. Now, they're going to be about $200, $250, but are you worth the investment? I'm going to say that again. Are you worth your own investment? Crystal have said that to me. So I told her this week, I said, Crystal, I'm going to invest in myself. So if you believe and you invest in yourself, other people will see the same energy and they'll be able to, just what my brother did, they'll help you. So go out and y'all come to the conference. It's going to be in Dallas this year. We're going to be out at the Sheridan. I believe the Galleria. We got some big things coming up. And then I got some other things coming up with Sisters in Power. I'm working on some other stuff, trying to get some other names to sit on this panel, and people are going to be shocked. I'm so nervous. But I'm definitely want to get back with you all, and we're going to do a breakfast brunch panel. I believe this is a subject that needs to continue, especially with women who are in the position and who are in the mindset of ready for a change and understanding financial literacy along with real estate, how it marries each other. All right. Thank y'all so much for coming and sharing this day with me. We do have a gift. Treva, you got the gifts? Give them their gift. Amen. Come on. I'm calling her on to the set, right? I want to say thank you to my brother Rodney Cox, who's back there doing the audio and video. Thank you to Kiki coming in and helping out with everything Sisters in Power. I want to thank my husband, my boo thing. Yes, y'all, I love that bald head joker. Yes, ma'am. That's my husband. I want to thank him for coming out and always being here to help and break down everything and help with the setup. And then I want to thank my cousins, Tim Sneed, for being here to support his wife. All right. He's here supporting her as well. So I want to thank you all for coming and sitting in on Sisters in Power. Stay tuned. We will be back, I believe, next month with another Sisters in Power. We're always on social media posting things that we're up and doing. And so we were able, Sisters in Power and Love on Purpose by Sister Treva Sneed, we were able to support an organization for autism. We were able to sow a seed into an organization with a young lady with Women Building Wealth Globally. That is another organization that I'm a part of, and helping other black women that are building wealth. So we were able to sow into that organization. They out doing the walk now in DeSoto, and we dropped off some gifts for them to support autism because we believe in you. We believe in you. Thank y'all for joining us. Find yourself in a church on tomorrow morning. Get the word of God in your system so you can live your life all week long and be prosperous. Thank you again for joining us. And I'll say with me on the count of 3, we are Sisters in Power. Get your microphones ready. 1, 2, 3.
We are Sisters in Power.